I know many of you guys have been eager to see an updated version of my Mastemon deck since the BT8 format. Well, wait no more, because this is exactly what we will be covering for today for the BT9 format. Just before we get started with the video, I got something really cool to share with all of you guys. If you haven't watched our newest Battle of series with Mario, then be sure to check that out as well. In our latest Battle of X Records series, you will get to see me play the Alphamon X antibody deck, putting it in action, and playing against Mario's Red X antibody Omnimon deck. Come watch the epic clash of the Royal Knights to find out who comes out on top. Links will be left in the description box down below or the iCard on the top right here. Hello Digimon players and fans, welcome back to another Digimon Deck Profile and in-depth building guide video. So, what's new with Mastemon, you might be asking? Well, in BT9 we got quite a number of new supporting cards which really helps synergize with all of our yellow and purple strategies. Now, if you're new to the Digimon card game, I would actually suggest you to check out the budget Mastemon starter deck guide first, because it will help you learn the basics of the deck on a budget before having to commit your wallet to this deck, as there's quite a lot of number of cards that are very pricey. We first got the Meicoomon Digivolution line, along with Meiko Tamer being one of the best supporting cards because she helps us search, trash, and gain us memory back when we hard play our dual color Digimon that are purple and yellow. We also have Meicrackmon Vicious Mode, which is a level 5 that really helps increase our efficiency in getting into our Mastemon simply because it's both purple and yellow itself. And then we have Regulmon, which is the mega form of the line, which has a crazy effect, helping you get into Ordinemon instantly, which is the brand new level 7 boss Digimon of the deck. Ordinemon can turn a losing game all the way back to a winning one by clearing your opponent's boards and recovering your security at the same time. If you guys want to know how it all works together, don't worry, just like always, we got a combo segment to teach you guys how to play the deck and perfect it as well. So stick around. Other than these new additions, the core pieces of the Mastemon deck hasn't changed too much from the last set. So let's show you guys what we got. So let's start off with our Digi-egg cards. We have first 4 copies of Nyaromon from the Mastemon starter deck. When attacking, if we have a yellow Digimon in play, we get to draw one and then trash one. We always do have a yellow, very likely a lot of the times. Triggering this is actually very easily achieved in this deck overall. Next, we also have one more egg. We have Demi-Meramon. Just so you guys know, Mastemon is a grindy control deck, meaning that the 5th egg does come up and it becomes very important. Same concept of drawing one and trashing one, however Demi-Meramon is on deletion, different to Nyaromon. You guys can juggle around between your ratios. Some of you guys might like 4 Demi-Merons and 1 Nyaromon instead, but Nyaromon seems to work out mostly greatly for me, simply because I like using my top end to swing a lot and sort of be able to get that draw one, trash one a little bit more consistent at the later stages of the game. So now let's talk about our rookies. First we have the brand new Salamon that is purple, and this is a 3-drop hard drop. On play, we get to review top 4 cards of our deck and add 1 2-color purple card to our hand. This is just really good to the addition to the deck, because not only we can add ourselves the Gatomon, any of the new double color Digimon that we have, but we can also add the options and dual color Tamers if we ever do have them. Mainly we play a lot of dual color options in this deck, meaning Salamon does give us a lot of value, and 2 copies is really just all we need. Now, just before we show you guys the next card, I got a quick question for you. Did you see this video in your recommended section? Well, if you didn't, that is because you have not subscribed yet, and by subscribing and turning on that notification bell, you know every time a new Digimon deck profile or video is out. We got lots more decks to cover for the BT9 format, so you definitely want to stay tuned as well. Don't forget to give this video a like, because it just really helps too. Next, we have even more Salamons. We got 2 of the original starter deck 10 Mastemon starter deck Salamons. End of turn, we get to DNA. This effect does come up every now and then and becomes very useful, especially when we want to DNA further into our top end, into our level 7s, which we will talk about more in detail later. To round off for the rest of the rookies, we have 2 Gazimons and 2 Psychmons. Here, basically our floodgates, our counters, Gazimon to counter any memory gain, especially Alphamon, we're going to need it for that matchup, Psychmon to counter against D-Reaper, as well as Billstar, which is really nice. Sometimes I feel like I really want to bump both of these to up to 3 each, however deck space is just so tight and I've been having so much trouble finding the right room for it. So 2 for 2, so 2 and 2 for now is really just the way I can go. Now let's talk about our level 4s. We of course have the 4 copies of the best card in this deck, which is the dual color Gatomon from the Mastemon starter deck. We get to search with this on play, and then we get to add our fallen angels and our angels. It can also reduce the Digivolution of going into an angel by 2, which is fantastic, and we always use its end of turn of DNA most of the time. Very core to the Mastemon combo, which I will again explain in more detail and showcase you guys later in the combo segment, but you do not want to run any less of this card whatsoever. 4 is a must-have. Then to round off our level 4s, we don't really play a whole lot of it, where we have just one black Gatomon, rush for game. It does come up. It is very nice. It is 5 cost to drop. However, we do have various ways to gain us memory to sort of have enough, and we can just hard play this card. And there's also ways to reduce the play cost of this card, which is also very nice, because having that extra swing for game can really just help you push for the aggressiveness, or even sometimes just simply win you games. That's it for the level 4s. Let's talk about our level 5s, where we have most to talk about. And let's start off with the yellow ones first. We have the 2 copies of Magna Angemon and then the 2 copies of Angemon. Fairly standard. There's nothing much that has really changed of this ratio from my previous build. These are the 2 best yellow Digimon level 5s that you really want to have. Magna Angemon letting you recover, also giving it extra 1000 DP for every 3 security cards you have to your top end is fairly nice as well. Angemon, which is definitely my favorite. On play, you get to security -2. Actually helps very nicely, especially when you do get to activate your Flame House Scythe from security, and you can stop OTK combos with this card, which is extremely good. Not only that, the security +1 is very nice, especially in this format. You want to be even more aggressive than you are. So sometimes I even have debated and sort of thought about playing 3 Angemons and then 2 Magna Angemons instead, but for standard basis, this current ratio seems to work out quite nicely as it is. Now for the purple level 5s, I played 2 copies of the BT3 Lady Devimon, 1 copy of the Mastemon starter deck Lady Devimon, and of course 2 Lucemon Chaos modes as well. First and foremost, the Lady Devimon, we just want to continue with our draw power, find our pieces, and it's inheritable of once per turn. When we do play an option, we get to delete a level 3 or lower. It's kind of handy. We can take out some of the floodgates and memory blockers, which is really nice. As for the Mastemon starter deck Lady Devimon, I just always like to have 1 copy of it, simply because we can access it a little bit differently. It is 6000 DP, so we can actually play it back with our Flame House Scythe, which is really nice, but also just another way to find our other angels and search for the pieces. Both these Lady Devimons really just try to achieve the same goal, trying to help you find your other level 5 and your other level 6 pieces, and I just like this Lady Devimon as well because of its inheritable of Retaliation, which does come up every now and then, so as a 1 of tech is actually very nice for the build. As for Lucemon, we just know how good this card really is. We're always going to be wanting to trash our Lucemon from our hand with our variety of different effects, and then have him set up in the trash so then we can go into our combos for later on, which is going to be super crucial. We do have the option to hard play this sometimes. Late game, it's just really nice because we can reduce the cost of it, but mainly Lucemon Chaos Mode is really there to offer us the versatility of controlling the board, whether we want to pop Tamers or anything that's level 6 or lower. It's just Lucemon right there, which is why it's really good, and you must have a 2 of to see it often enough for the deck overall. So that's it for the purple level 5s. Last but not least, we have 2 copies of Maycrackmon Vicious Mode. Maycrackmon is a new addition in BT9 to this current deck. Well, the first thing why this card is extremely good is because it's double colored, both purple and yellow. Not only that, it's 6000 DP, meaning it will combo very nicely with Flame House Scythe. Whereas overall, the on-play and when digivolving effect is basically the same. You get to trash 1 card from your hand. If you trash a purple, you delete a level 3. If you trash a yellow, you minus 3000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon. If you trash a dual color card, which is both purple and yellow, you get to activate both of these effects, which is really neat. Not only that, it has an inheritable on deletion. If the Digimon on the top is 2 or more colors, you get to gain 2 memory. It always happens. Mostly your top end is filled with double colors of both purple and yellow anyways, so having this effect does apply a little bit of pressure on your opponent, which is kind of nice as well. That's it for all of our level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s, our key boss Digimon of the deck. We have 3 copies of Mastemon. The middle one is the alt art, but right now the first thing you guys may have noticed, the biggest change is we actually bumped down from 4 Mastemons down to 3. Now there's a very good reason because of that, because we have to make room for a new level 6, which we get to talk about in a bit. But Mastemon is still your best boss Digimon of the deck that you really want to be always getting into as soon as possible and as often as possible as well. So some of you guys may want to play 4 copies of this card instead, which is totally good as well. As we all know, for DNA Digivolving requirements, Mastemon does need a level 5 yellow and a level 5 purple to DNA into it, and when you do fulfill those conditions to DNA Digivolve Mastemon, she gives you so much value, allowing you to put 1 card from your trash back into the top of your security, search your security, and then play 1 Digimon out, and then also delete things, which is just really good because of its all turns effect. Once again, we'll go through this in the whole combo segment, and you guys get to see how strong and powerful Mastemon really is. Next, I have 1 Ophanimon Fall Down Mode. She's just always a great beater by herself. If you don't see Mastemon, going into her is always still good value because you can recover 1 if you have a yellow source when digivolving, and you get to pop a level 4 if you have a purple source as well. And then on deletion, you can bring something back, and ideally your target will always going to be your Gatomon for more searching. If not, you can bring out any of your rookies for floodgates and countering the matchup wherever you need. Ophanimon is Fall Down Mode is just so good because she is like a beatdown powerhouse. As soon as she comes out, you can just start attacking and not have to worry about anything because this Digimon itself just exerts so much pressure on the board. Then for our final level 6, we have the brand new 1 copy of Regulmon. This card is actually super insane, but very situational and very conditional in order to get the best value from this card. It is a 12 cost mega level 6. Now the key thing is you actually never want to be digivolving this card. You actually want to be hard playing this card. And once again, I'll show you guys a particular combo of playing this card. On play, you get to play 1 purple or yellow Digimon card with 6,000 DP or less from your trash without paying its memory cost. However, if you have 1 or fewer security cards, you can play a level 6 Digimon card with Angel or Fallen Angel and its traits from your trash without paying its memory cost instead. And then it also has a end of turn effect just like the Gatomon and Salamon, but not as an inheritable. You can DNA Digivolve. And really the whole idea of playing this card is really letting you to DNA Digivolve into the brand new boss monster that Mastemon has right now, which is Ordinemon or Ordinemon. Not too sure how to pronounce that name, you guys, but whatever, we'll call it Ordine for now, which she requires 2 level 6s to DNA Digivolve, a purple and a yellow once again. Now, this is a level 7 boss Digimon, and it's just super strong and does crazy amount of things and super clutch that can make your game from you're losing all the way back to you winning. Now, I'll explain to you guys why. Because when you DNA Digivolve, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon that is level 6 or higher. And then afterwards, all of their level 5 or lower Digimon is also deleted. For every Digimon you delete, you get to recover 1. This is fantastic of answering like wide boards and big boards and answering anything in general in the current meta because you can delete anything with this, which is absolutely insane. Her second effect is also really good because on deletion, you may trash the top card of your security stack to play this card without paying its memory cost, giving her some floating capabilities. Her herself already has 15,000 DP, which is super strong as a level 7, which it always should be anyways, but it also gives you that reoccurrence if it ever gets deleted. It's just very nice. In my current build, I just want to opt in for 1 copy since I don't always want to be seeing her as much as my level 7, and that is because I still really like playing the 2 copies of Zord Defeat. Zord Defeat is just still so good for this deck, and I just prefer it most of the time. So many reasons. Security, it's a free body out here, and you just apply pressure forever. It also has when digivolving, you can delete Tamers. And the main key reason that I really just much prefer Omnimon Zord Defeat over Ordinemon is simply because that this card exerts pressure any stage of the game. If you come up from security in early game, you get to swing a lot with it, which is fantastic. In the mid game, you get to digivolve into this and pop a Tamer if you need to. And then in the late game, if it comes out from security or whatever, or if you digivolve it, still really good in controlling the board overall. A much better card in general to have. So 2 copies is what I need. That's it for all of our Digimon. Let's talk about our Tamers. We first have the 3 copies of Kari. She is our memory Tamer, but also every time we will recover or add a card back to our security stack, we get to suspend this Tamer and gain a memory. Keep in mind it's only during our turn or your turn when you use this effect. So I want to see her as consistently as possible. We do a lot of that, so that's the reason why I play 3. Next we have this brand new Tamer, which is super good for the deck. We got the 3 copies of Mako. Now, I know a lot of players have been juggling between 2 and 3. I think 3 is just really good. I want to maximize it as much as I can. 4 may be a bit too clunky. It's simply because she is your searching Tamer. On play, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and you get to add 1 purple or yellow Digimon card among them to your hand. And then you trash the rest, which synergizes perfectly with the setup combos that you need for this deck in particular. And the second effect is also just super good because all turns, when you play a 2-color purple and yellow Digimon, you can suspend this Tamer to gain a memory, meaning that it's going to combo very well with your black Gautomons or anything that you hard play that is double color in purple and yellow in general, and you just get your value back from here, especially making your searching Gautomon extremely cheap and affordable to play, and you can just turbo it out super fast. You always want to be seeing this Tamer super early in the game, which always just gives you the best value. That's it for all of our Tamers. Let's talk about our options. Nothing has really changed much with our option lineup except for the ratios. We play 4 copies of the Chaos Degradation, and of course you also have to play 4 copies of Flame Hell Scythe along with it. There's no questions asked on these 2 options. Chaos Degradation is just your best answer to the OTK format. I used to only really want to run 2 or 3, but you just have to have 4 in this current format. Drawing it sometimes is bricky, but you really want to have this card to pop out from the security to stop your opponent's OTK combos, and that is really your best answer. Flame Hell Scythe just being a very important core of the whole mechanic and strategy and play style of the deck. You want to be seeing this card as often as you can, whether if it's in security or play from your hand. It can just give you so much value because you can play your level 5s, minus something that's 6000 DP or less as well, and then just go on with your combos further on as well. Next, we have 1 Reinforcing Memory Boost and purple memory boost here. Reinforcing Memory Boost, we all know how good this card really is. It's always just very nice to have, so you just play in any yellow deck you can essentially. As for purple Memory Boost, we used to play a lot more of this in the previous format, but however we don't need to play as many of this anymore because we do have our Mako. She substitutes for the purple Memory Boost. However, I like to still have at least 1 just so I can do the delay and a little bit more searching. Still provides quite a decent amount of value overall anyways. And then last but not least, we need 1 Calling from the Darkness just to grab our pieces. Sometimes we want to do a little bit of fancy combos, pop something of our own, and then grab 2 more pieces, and then just, search through our trash, find what we need for the perfect situation, and sort of do counter plays right there. So that will be it for our 50 card main deck. Now let's talk about a few of the other tech choices and other cards I thought of when I was building this deck. The first card, which is supposed to be brand new that many of you guys may be wondering, why won't we play? Mekumon. Mekumon is a 5-drop, double color, works very nice along with Mako as our Tamer. It has a security effect as well. At the end of battle, you get to play this Digimon without paying its memory cost, and it provides a inheritable of on deletion. If this Digimon has 2 more colors, gain 2 memory, just like Maycrackmon Vicious Mode. Now, I personally really just don't like this card and that is because it is nice to have it pop out with security, but other than that, if you never get that effect going, it just feels very clunky. Like having this card in my hand, I don't really like to hard play it as much. I really want to be Digivolving it on top as well. I mean, it's okay when we do that, and I just personally don't really like this card. It has never really worked out for me. I always wish it was in security, but I keep drawing into it, which is the reason why it's giving me a bad experience. So that's why I don't really include it. But I know a lot of people and other players really like this card as well because playing 2 or 3 of this card can actually give you some pretty neat combos along with Mastemon as well. The next card I want to show you guys is this promo Gautomon right here. It's actually very versatile and very nice to be included in this deck because during your opponent's turn, while you have a purple Digimon in play, and you're always going to be having 1 on your board anyways, this Digimon gains blocker. Also on play, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you get to recover +1, which is also very nice. Can combo very nicely with your Mastemon as well. Now the next level 6 that I want to talk about is Sakuyamon. Sakuyamon is actually a really good inclusion. Some of you guys might want to play 1 or 2 in the deck overall as well, and I definitely did consider it when I was building because Sakuyamon stops the OTK decks. It stops the guys that come out from raising and do their wombo combos, and Sakuyamon prevents that from happening, and it makes it very difficult for those decks to actually thrive and take you down as long as you have a Sakuyamon. Also, keep in mind, it does have a secondary effect. All your opponent's Security Digimon gets minus 3000 DP, giving you a lot more aggression when you do swing in with your Digimon, which is very, very nice. However, I feel like Sakuyamon is actually a relatively slow Digimon. When you Digivolve it, you can't go as aggressive as you want to. She has to stay on board, unsuspended. You rarely want to be attacking with her because you might fret that your opponent may find a way to actually attack over her, because she is just only that 11,000 DP, which is not hard for many of the decks to overcome in this format. However, that's another consideration. Last but not least, for the final card, as a different level 7 top end you can be playing, is Defxmon. Defxmon is just super powerful as a card itself. You can hard play it if your opponent has a wide board with lots of Tamers and lots of Digimon. You get to pop their board and basically clear it off, which is really, really nice. Or you get to sometimes even Digivolve it on top of your Mastemon, which works very nicely in this deck. However, I do want to focus more on my Zwart Defeat and Ordinemon combo, which is why I decided not to include this card in the deck. Alright, so now we talked about all the cards we want to cover. Of course, let's move into everyone's favorite part of the segment, the combo and how to play segment. So let's start off with the how to play section first in the early stages of the game. You really want to be seeing these cards while you can. You want to be hard playing your Salamons to search. You want to be playing your Gatomon to search as well. And then if you have your Mako, play your Mako to search and do the same thing. If you have Mako first, then you can play your Gatomon next, and then even suspend your Mako to reduce the cost and make Gatomon 4 cost, which is absolutely insane. And this is the reason why Mako is just so good, because it's just always going to be there to help you out. If you ever get your chance, definitely having Kari helps you extend and do a lot more cooler combos as well. So what you're really looking for while you're searching is that you want to be grabbing yourself your level 5s and your level 6s. So you want to be grabbing your Mastemon, of course. You want to be grabbing either your Magna Angemon and Angelomon, and then your Lady Devimons overall. And then the one more card that you're really going to be needing is also your Lusamon. And while you're doing all those things, trying to find your pieces, of course, you're going to be hatching your egg all the time. As soon as you see it, any rookie that you can Digivolve like this, that you don't need to hard play for, just Digivolve it to get your extra draw right off there. If you're bricking or you're not seeing your pieces, you do want to move your rookie up. And make sure that you do have a yellow Digimon on board, which most likely going to be your Gatomon at some point, so you can swing with your Gazi and your rookie, and your Nyaoromon will help you draw one and trash one. So really, ideally, once you get all your sort of pieces ongoing at the same time, they don't have to be all in your hand at once, because you're always going to be cycling through as you go. Let's just say you just have one memory without the Kari. You just go into Lady Devimon for one and just draw. Continue to find these pieces. Continue to look for them. Because once you do, what you want to do with Lady Devimon is always going to be trashing your Lusamon Chaos Mode into the trash. Make sure there's at least one setup there. Afterwards, since you're at 0, you can still play one of your yellow level 5s out there. So then you want to make sure you have your Mastemon. So let's just say you play Magna Angemon. So you pay 7 and you just hard play it, and then it will recover 1 for you. You can also suspend Kari and go back to 6. Now, I mentioned before in my BT8 guide video that when you're playing this deck, you have to be very greedy and you have to be generous with your memory that you give to your opponent. You cannot be shy. There's very little ways for you to choke in this deck, which is not really how you want to be playing it. You want to give that memory. Play as if you always have it, and you always just go straight for the combos when you can. When you see the opportunity to blow up their board, you just go for it. Don't hesitate. Digivolve here, DNA at the end of turn, because you have Gatomon. You go into your Mastemon. Your Mastemon will let you bring your Chaos Mode into your security, shuffle it, go through it and look at your security, find what you need, and then play most likely your Lusamon Chaos Mode. Now, at this moment, you get to choose to pop 2 things. You can pop a Tamer, and then you can also pop a level 5 or lower with Mastemon. If not, you can pop a level 6 with Lusamon, and then pop something else that's also level 5 or lower, clearing the board as much as you can. Now, let's just say in a different scenario, your Magna Angemon or your Angelomon is in the trash. This is when you want to see that you want to have Flame House Scythe. Setting up your Tamers are really crucial, because you need to fulfill the requirements of yellow and purple in order to play Flame House Scythe. Back at 0 memory right here, instead you pay 6 to play Flame House Scythe, and then you can play Angelomon instead this time. If your opponent has something that's like big on the board and you just want to minus security to them, or generally you just want to go aggressive with extra security checks, play your Angelon here, and then now we can DNA once again this time. Going into your Mastemon, once again doing the same thing with Lucemon combo, pop their stuff, and then pass to them, and then let your opponent rebuild and respond back. It takes a lot of resources just to answer this board right here, because once they pass the memory back to you at 3, you can start swinging in aggressively. 2 checks right here, really, really nice. Lucemon, Chaos Mode. If they put another rookie, you can play Flame Hellscythe, pop something, and since you play an option, you can pop a rookie, you can continue to pop a lot of things, which is really crazy. You play another Magna Angemon back, Mastemon gets to continue to pop things as well because of her all turns effects. And also, the other reason why I love playing Zord Defeat so much in this deck is because Mastemon's second effect is all turns. If your opponent tries to chip you away or swing into your security and you have a Zord Defeat that comes out, you can pop one of your opponent's level 7 or lower. How insane is that? There is just instant removal and dealt with, which is why this combo is just so good. And this is just the basic core first combo of Mastemon, and we haven't shown you guys the new combos just yet, so let's get right into it. Alright, now let's talk about combo number 2, where we have Regulmon and Ordinemon in our hand ready to go right here. Combo number 2 is really more about like your late game extending combo after you establish all your Mastemon plays and your opponent has some reason that they can answer you. So let's just say for whatever reason they cleared your board, you know, they were able to destroy everything and delete everything, and you're only down to 1 security at this moment. So Regulmon with the Ordinemon combo helps you come back. Your opponent puts you to 3. All you have to do is very simple. You want to meet the condition that you have these 2 cards in your hand, and then, of course, just 1 level 6 to get into, which is most likely going to be Mastemon. What you want to do is just straight up hard play the Regulmon. Like I said, you do never ever Digivolve this card. You hard play it for the 12. You pass your opponent to 9. If you have Makos, then great. You can suspend it to gain the memory. If you have memory boost during the period of the time, you get to, you know, give less memory out away, which is pretty nice. Now, Regulmon will activate its effect. You can play a Digimon card with 6,000 DP or lower from your trash. However, you only have 1 security. So now, you can play Mastemon. Just like the end of turn DNA combos with Regulmon and Mastemon, you put them together to DNA for the 2 level 6s into Ordinemon. Now, the more cards your opponent has, the more Digimon they have on board, the better the value that Ordinemon gives. Because if you pop at least 2 or 3 things, you recover 2 or 3 security. And the more you have, you can recover all the way back to 5, which is absolutely insane. And because you recovered, you can also suspend your Kari to pass and give 1 memory. Same idea and same concept. You have to be generous with your memory that you give to your opponent. If you never are, you can never pull off this combo. But this is what Ordinemon is there for and what she really does. And now for the final third combo of another method to go into your Ordinemon or Ordinemon is that you want to be Digivolving your Raising. You want to have your Salamon inheritable. If you do, Digivolve into Gatomon, because once you have your Mastemon established on the board already, you've done most of your combos, you can actually just safely build a second stack and ready to go. And once again, 1 memory is all you need. If you see the opportunity to go into Ordinemon and you can get a lot of value off of it, go for it. And so what you want to do is push out your Gatomon and make sure that you have a Mastemon on board as well. You Digivolve your Gatomon into one of your Angels or whatever these guys are for 1 cost. You resolve your Lady Devimon's effect, and then next you can then Digivolve into any of your other level 6s. It can be another Mastemon, but let's just say you have another Alphamon or Regulmon here. Ideally, you would want to go into Alphamon fall down mode. If you don't have the Salamon end of turn here, then Regulmon would be nice as well. However, keep in mind, Gatomon still gives you this end of turn as well. So there's a lot of versatility, so it really doesn't really matter. Just make sure you do have some form of end of turn DNA Digivolving effect. So let's just go into Alphamon, passing your opponent to 4. Alphamon will do her combos with her effects as well. You know, recovering 1, popping a level 4. Now end of turn. If you see the opportunity and your opponent has a wide board, go for it. You DNA right here into a ginormous stack into Ordinemon. Really big. Just like a OTK stack combo right here. And once you DNA Digivolve here, that you do the same thing with Ordinemon, and they just do pop their entire board. But this time, you're paying a lot less memory, which, of course, you're paying it more in the early run of building the stack instead. That will conclude for my very own deck building strategy and in-depth guide for the Mastemon and Ordinemon deck profile in BT9. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. Overall, the Mastemon deck does have a relatively high learning curve and skill ceiling, but that is one of the main aspects which makes this deck super fun to play constantly. With all the inclusion of the new cards from BT9, the deck can now achieve even more ways to counter your matchups in various different situations. It pretty much feels like a toolbox style deck since there's so many single one-of cards in the build to help you adapt. So that will wrap up for the video for today. We got more deck profiles coming up real soon, and here's a sneak peek of what I'm currently working on for the next deck profile and guide, as we got Rise Greymon X. If you guys are excited, then be sure to hit that subscribe button right now, turn on that notification bell so you guys know as soon as that video drops. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video. This is Avault, signing out.